Hey guys, Level-Cap here. Today I want to talk a bit about game design and the philosophy behind creating a consistent experience for casual and competitive gaming. Now, why should we care about consistency in gaming? And first of all, what the heck am I talking about when I say consistency when referring to multiplayer shooters? It's not like we load up a different game every time we start playing. It's always Battlefield, or it's always Counter-Strike, or Call of Duty. To me, consistency is the ability to load up your favorite game and jump into a match where you know relatively what kind of gameplay to expect. When somebody starts playing Counter-Strike and wants to hop into a game of Dust 2, I doubt there will be something weird going on that they never expected to see or were totally unprepared for. I mean, sure, strategies within the map may take you by surprise, but for the most part you can start off and play with the same strategies and tactics like you always do. This is a consistent experience, knowing what kind of experience to expect when loading up a game. Now, you could say that this counteracts variety, and you would be right to an extent. The more consistent gameplay becomes, the less random variety you see when you're playing. However, the well-designed video games allow for variety within the consistent rules they have laid down. Rainbow Six Siege is a great example of this. The maps are very small and there's little variety in the number of game modes you can play. However, within the rule system, there are limitless possibilities to your strategy and teamwork. I've never had a game that played out the same way twice. Yet, I know when joining a game what kind of experience that I'm going to have. Win or lose, there will be scouting phase, a defensive phase, a communication and flanking period, and then tense moments of combat. Something I look forward to when thinking about playing Rainbow Six, and I'm rarely let down when actually joining the game. Now, Rainbow Six and Counter-Strike are good examples of games with highly consistent gameplay that still have variety within them. Call of Duty has similar levels of consistency, though you do sometimes get people dropping out of servers when kill streaks get out of hand. That's when the experience you were looking for goes away. Win or lose, the fast-paced firefights will die out, and you're forced to try and find another game in search of that COD experience. Battlefield, on the other hand, faces the most challenges when trying to deliver a consistent experience. It's a much larger game both map-wise and player-wise than any other AAA shooter, and thus needs more finesse to try and create a consistent experience. Fans notice that I play a lot of team deathmatch when doing weapon reviews or loadouts. I do this because it's one of the few ways to get a consistent infantry versus infantry experience in Battlefield 4. It's not always consistent though. Because of the large player count in games, it's often a one-sided game where it's difficult to move out of spawn locations and run the routes that you're used to on your map. When playing other game modes like Rush, the experience can vary drastically depending on the size of the game. 16 vs 16 Rush is an entirely different feeling from 32 vs 32 Rush. Servers also change the ticket count so the attack and defend periods can last for ages, and the destructible maps will be nothing but ruins by the end of the game. Some servers even disable explosives or parts of the user interface and spotting system. Ultimately, you may think you're joining a run-of-the-mill game hoping for a specific experience, but you end up with something entirely different. Conquest is another tricky game mode to give a consistent experience. There are so many powerful vehicles that sometimes one team gains steamroller-like momentum if they have too many of them, or good enough pilots and drivers to keep the other team at bay. You may wonder why a 64-player game just opened up, and it's because people started to leave as it felt like there was no point in continuing the fight. Mixing that with 3,000 ticket servers and it becomes a recipe for a disaster more often than not. Now, because Battlefield offers so much variety in how you play the game, it lends itself to creating insane moments that you will never get in any other video game, and that's part of why Battlefield is so special. And sometimes you join that perfect game of Battlefield. The teams are evenly matched, the rules are straightforward, and it comes right down to the wire. But once it's over and you go seeking it again, it may be harder to find than you think. Team stacking, crazy rules, and even more can make it very difficult to replicate the experience you seek. This is where I find myself with the Battlefield franchise at the moment. Always seeking the fun, challenging, and balanced game, yet rarely finding it. I think it's one of the reasons I'm spending so much of my time right now playing Rainbow Six, because I know when I load up that game, I'm going to get the combat experience I'm looking for. Anyway, I kind of wanted to make this video as a discussion point, sort of a food for thought. Battlefield is still a great game, but it can become so much more if I know that I'm going to get that great Battlefield experience every time I load up the game. What do you guys think about the idea of consistency becoming more important to Battlefield? Or do you like the multiplayer experience being more like a box of chocolates? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching guys. This is LevelCap, signing off.